For the next half, he's able to complete it and bring it to an expected end. I feel like I've aged at least 2 years in the last 6 months. When the year began, I believed God was calling me to more and urging me to do more. Therefore, I had to do more work than I had ever done in my entire life. I didn't quite grasp how much work it would entail, but I was willing to try. I drew up my plan, broke it down into quarterly goals, and hit the ground running. I prayed fervently, or so I thought, as much as my body allowed considering my workload. My mind ran at a pace my body couldn't keep up with. Yet, I was determined to leave my lazy girl era behind and not disappoint God. I worked tirelessly, giving my best to everything I believed God asked of me. I strived to be productive every day, excelling at work, creating consistent content, serving faithfully at my local church, being a reliable daughter, sister, and friend, advancing in my career as a doctor and as an individual, learning new skills like driving, honing talents I had just discovered like writing, cultivating healthy habits such as going to the gym, and striving to meet my outrageous financial goals before the year ends. All while maintaining intimacy and a vibrant devotional life through prayer, fasting, and Bible study. Sounds exhausting, right? Well, you don't know the half of it. The state of my skin before and after this year began is proof enough. You might be wondering, why didn't you take a rest or take a break, Moyosore? Were your prayers not right? Why didn't God tell you something? If I were you, those will be my thoughts as well. But I did rest. I did pray. The Holy Spirit did speak to me. Sometimes, however, we get so stuck in our routines that we find excuses to ignore what God is telling us. Fast forward to July 7th, my sleep was disrupted. I had been unwell a few days earlier, missed my prayer time for 2 days, fell back into bad habits. I was trying to sleep to recover. In the early hours of the morning, it felt impossible to sleep. My entire year flashed before my eyes, highlighting my achievements. Yet, instead of feeling commendation, it felt more like rebuke. All the excuses I made for missing prayer times and meetings replayed in my head. If only I had prayed daily for the last 6 months, what would my life look like now? Over almost 3 hours of tossing and turning, trying to shake off those thoughts and images, I became more aware of what the Lord was saying to me. I had neglected what was most paramount, my fellowship with Him. I had mistaken busyness for effectiveness in service, forgetting the more profitable. I spent my time, mind, and body on the gifts and platforms I believed God called me to, so much so that when it was time for my Lord, I was spent. I had little left to offer. I made excuses about being tired and struggled to pray for more than an hour when I knew He was calling me to more. But God always understands, doesn't He? My Lord showed me that with little changes on and off, this was how I spent the first half of 2024. You see, we are often sold the lie that more results require more work. Social media and motivational speakers tell us that to level up or become that person, we must work harder, adjust our habits, and so on, causing us to forget that so much more will be done at the feet of Jesus rather than through our planning and strategizing. Instead of mothering around in the name of work, if we would just be a Mary and sit at His feet, then would we be able to discern that my rabbi is about to die, so I must anoint his feet with my precious perfume. I know you've reevaluated and planned for the next half. You're going to work longer hours, research more, send out more applications, message more people, run more miles. These are all good things, but can I suggest a different approach? Instead of working for grace, can you put grace to work? Why not sit at Christ's feet, receiving His grace, His plan, His blueprint, and then putting them into action? Why not receive your daily to-do list from Him and then accomplish it? Working from rest and security makes a huge difference compared to the anxiety and stress of running helter and skelter. You might think you need a vacation, a staycation, or even a vacation. But believe it or not, what you truly need is spiritual rest. Hours spent daily resting at the bosom of your Father, surrendering to day's stresses and embracing the grace and blessings of tomorrow. No matter how unconventional or counterproductive this may sound, the quality of my life in the last 7 days has been far richer than in the last 6 months. I'm not idle or lacking work. I'm simply working from grace, doing only what He enables me to do. This is how I plan to live for the next 6 months and beyond. With the help and strength of the Holy Spirit, prioritizing adequate rest at the feet of my Lord in fellowship. In whatever race it is you are running currently, the true winner isn't the fastest runner or the most resilient person. It's the one upon whom God shows mercy. Because if He began the work, He is more than capable of completing it and bringing you into a more than expected and abundant end. Rest in Him. Love, Moyosore.